is Twig. This week in Kongregate, the show that kicks around flash games trying to get the best of them all. Episode 13, now with more voice.
Again.
Hi, I'm Mishu.
And I'm Mircha.
And hey, I'm Roby.
Roby is Yodabyte on Kongregate, and he's a level 65. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I've been around for a while, not as long as Mircha, but early 2008 is when I joined. I've got most of the badges on the website. I'm only missing 3 or so, and I used to rate games like when there was no rating limit. I gave that rating spam a fair good go. But these days, I don't really care about points as much since I've capped out at level 65. But I still play very, very regularly to get all the badges and stuff like that.
I've been here longer, but since I don't rate all the games, actually I don't rate most of the games, he is really, really ahead of me. I never thought rating could bring you that high. So rate your games, kids, because it gives points. It's worth it.
That's how you make those levels, point by point.
Yeah.
Well, before we move on to Badges of the Week, I have to make a public statement that I have failed with the first recording of this show, and this is a do-over. So if you feel that some of the dialogue is stale, or maybe if you feel that we already know each other too much, it's because of that. My apologies, my bad. All right, moving on to Badges of the Week. Since you're new here, why don't you start off, Robbie?
Okay, so the first badge of last week was Ragdoll Cannon 4 by Johnny K, and this is the first Ragdoll Cannon to get badges, even though it's the 4th one. I don't think the first 3 had proper API implementation. It's like the first time he's done this. So this is the first time we've seen it get badges, and this is the first time I've played a Ragdoll Cannon all the way through because of this fact. The first Ragdoll Cannons were pretty bad in the fact that you couldn't really level select or anything. You sort of had to play through the whole game at one time. So in a way, this game is actually better than the first few games, even though it has a lower rating. I thought it was okay. There were some pretty cool levels which required a bit of thinking, but on the main part, it was pretty average game. Nothing too special about it, which is reflected in its rating.
Mm-hmm. I love the fact that you can stick people to the sticky people, and then make like a giant ball of people and stuff like that. I actually like the whole different people types generally. I think it's the first time he did this. And I don't get it, because the game is definitely better than the other ones. Why would it have a small rating? I think it's because of the badge thing, because people don't like working for badges, so they just rate down. Could it be that?
I don't know. I think the hard badges is one of the medium hard badges around. I mean, there are some.
Yeah, but why would people rate it down?
I think also because it's the 4th one, maybe people are just a bit bored of it. Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
See, that's what you get for playing games that don't have badges. Because when you get badges, you hate them.
I mean, the 4th shift was rated pretty badly, wasn't it? And that was really successful, the first few shift games. But by the 4th time, you're kind of just a bit over the whole concept.
I think also as a developer, sometimes you have to just stop with one thing, begin another thing, because you're not going to be able to push it through indefinitely.
Yep. Let's move on to Elements of Arcandia.
Oh my god, it has candy in its title.
Oh, there you go.
That's about the only good thing about it.
Yeah. After we did the last session, I started playing the game again, so maybe I could get through the badges. The game is actually captivating.
Captivating. Good.
Yeah, that's the word. I mean, I started playing, I didn't realize that an hour and a half had passed, and I was still trying to kill those damn monsters, but the game is really, it's bad.
I don't know, to me it's like really opposite. I'm playing it for 5 minutes, and then I think it's in an eternity, because nothing happens, and you have to like really grind all the way through, and you get
game,
you know.
Sorry, yeah, the game is really slow paced, isn't it? One battle can take 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, and then you can like battle it for 10 minutes with some guys, and then at the end you just lose because you don't have enough gems or some random thing like that, and that just makes you feel bad. But I think it's missing. Like most RPG games have this thing that the longer you play, you surely get better. Here you can like just like play for half an hour and you're right exactly where you started.
Basically, the nullified grinding. Grinding is zero in this game. Doesn't matter how much you play, you still don't get any further.
Yeah. But at some point you get like some combination of spells where you can like kind of go infinite, have infinite mana. But even that's not enough because you just need better weapons and stuff, and you can't get those unless you win, and you can't win because you don't have the weapons. So,
what combo did you point out last time, Robbie?
The combo I used to eventually get through to getting the hard badge was basically using sneak attack is a really good way because good way to do damage because you don't use any turns at all. Sneak attack doesn't use any turns, and when you actually attack after using the sneak attack, it doesn't use any turns. So you can sort of just keep repeatedly attacking without using any turns up. And complementing that, sneak attack requires lots of, I think, 12 green mana.
Poison
so
mana.
You complement sneak attack with spells which produce lots of green mana, like Poison Storm and Fool's Gold. And I found that was the best way. So there is an element of strategy to defeating the harder levels, because the one problem with this game is the difficulty ramps up at really silly steps. One level will have 150 hit point monsters, and then the next level will have 500 hit point monsters, and you just got the same stuff as the last battle, and you're wondering, is this even possible? But if you find a decent strategy, it is possible in the end, although it is quite frustrating at the same time. So the difficulty could have been ramped up a bit better.
Next, we're going to talk about Stunt Crazy, and I'm going to mention it again this time because I want to add to what Mircea said in the past episode. Stunt Crazy is not just a game where you go ahead and demolish buildings. It's actually got a nice theme that you're a stunt driver in a movie, and you have to do some creative combos there, and basically they're pretty creative because you have to combine, how you manage your fuel and how you fly around.
I usually just combine smashing into stuff with smashing into stuff. just works.
So it does the trick for you, doesn't it? But if you really want to get all the gold trophies, you really have to think about it a little bit.
Okay.
And what I loved about the game is how they've polished it with cutscenes, with newspapers of people hating or loving your game and then making a riot about it, or the stunt awards where you get prizes. That was nice.
Yeah. President of the world.
What? Yeah, you get to be. Didn't you finish it?
No.
Oh, you get to be president of the world at the end.
President?
Of the world.
I think it's because you destroyed it all or something like that.
Probably. Yeah, I thought it was a fun little game. Didn't take too long to get through it all. So it wasn't too challenging, but it was fun. It was good to just demolish everything with a flying car with no wheels.
Yeah, it's weird how those wheels fall off right after you start.
Yeah.
You first platform jump and they're down.
There should be a badge for keeping your wheels till the end. That's impossible.
Is it even
impossible?
possible?
Yeah.
Well, too bad, because, a car without wheels. But they can still fly. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's a good trade.
Into orbit.
You can actually go into orbit?
If you go too high, it says into orbit, I think. Or
oh my
like
god,
that.
it never happened to me.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I know that if you go off screen to the right, it's a home run.
Yeah,
right?
home run. And if you go straight up, you go into orbit.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
We forgot to mention the one frustrating thing about Stunt Crazy is the sticky hands.
Oh yeah. Oh my, I kind of forgot those since last time.
Yeah.
But they are, but they are annoying. They have like this sticky block where you run into it and then you're like, you failed. It's like you could say you failed.
Yeah.
What's the sticky hand mechanic? I didn't get to it yet.
Well, you drive, and if you touch that sticky hand block, just the slightest bit, you get sucked into it, and you're just stuck there. You can't do anything. You just like wobble around helplessly, and you may as well just end your turn right there because you're done.
But it's an awesome game anyway. And speaking of awesome games, I want to talk about The Eye of It, which is a fantastic game, said I. Let's go around the table and talk about it.
Then suddenly,
I liked it. I like the mechanics, the whole talking effects thing. Could have been a little bit longer. Could have cut down on the the industrial level, so to say. Because once you get in the second part of the game, it's a lot cooler. You get to do stuff like fly and shoot arrows and stuff. But generally, it's really nice. It's a nice artistic, so to say, game.
You don't see many unique aspects of puzzle games lately. So this really brought that to the table, and with the obvious humor of it all. It was an enjoyable game to play through. The ending made me laugh out loud. It's just how it ends so, suddenly.
I loved the game instantly. I mean, after about 5 minutes of play, I just rated it 5 because I was in awe. But even though it didn't have the basic things that a game should have, like save the progress between levels and maybe a mute button, I'm usually entertained by British voices in games. If you remember,
it a British voice though? It had a bit of something else in it as well. It wasn't just British. It had sort of a different European accent on a hint of a different European accent on it as well. I thought
it's something from those islands, like Irish or Welsh or something. It said elevator. What's
elevator?
Elevator. Okay, who's picking up the next game?
I'll take it. The game that got badged earlier today, RPG shooter Star Wish. This game has been quite successful. It's got a very high rating of 4.4, something around there, unless badges have decreased that in the meantime. But last time I looked, it was pretty high. This game's sort of strange. It has a lot of very complicated anime art, but on the other hand, its interface is very basic, as if it was, and I think it is, this developer's very first game. But nevertheless, it seems to hit it off with the Kongregate fan base. But for me, side-scrolling shooter, I would like to see a decent side-scrolling shooter, but this was very average sort of shooter dynamic. Would have been nice to have a bit more bullet heaven sort of thing, but the bosses repeat, the monsters repeat. After a while, everything repeats. It just gets a bit laborious.
I never actually got to repeat anything because I actually tried to give the dialogue a chance and read it. And it actually took, I don't know, half an hour or something before I got through the first cutscene, which is huge. It's like you talk nonsense with people that talk nonsense. Nobody. I think he's trying to develop a story, but really it's extremely boring because you're just like reading. It's like reading a bad book. And then once I got to the game part, I was like, oh my god, this was a shooter. I guess it's lucky that they mentioned it in the title because.
I was quite disappointed about the shooter because I love shooters in general, but this one is just one of the bad ones. I mean, after you've played Bullet Heaven or even Frantic, which was an all-time classic, you just get disappointed when you get to the shooting part. And if you're the kind of guy that puts up with all the dialogue like Mircea did, then the disappointment would have been.
I quit.
After half an hour. That's a lot of dialogue.
Okay, yeah.
I actually skipped from the first cutscene because I wanted to get to the shooter part.
Yeah, but it had like nice chicks. You were talking to chicks, and I kind of out of experience in games where talking to chicks, they usually get to some point where it's pleasurable, but they didn't.
It's basically a disappointing game from a shooter perspective, but since it got badges, I suppose it's worth giving it another try.
Yeah, I guess
you're gonna have to. Yeah. That dialogue continues through the whole game. I think there's like 30 levels, and in between those 30 levels, there's so much dialogue.
I thought you were going to say there's 30 levels, and between those 30 levels, there's some shooter game.
That too.
Do you even get to make choices and stuff like that, or is it just like click, 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 click to get through it?
Yeah, when you finish the final level, there's like one choice, and that's it.
Oh, okay, so that's a choice. Okay.